January 2026 just finished here in Idaho Falls, and we have a brand new mayor. Her name is Lisa Burtenshaw, and she has some big visions and big goals for Idaho Falls. And just a couple weeks ago, she had her State of the City for Idaho Falls, which I'm going to summarize here. It's about 27 minutes that you can watch right here on YouTube, or you can watch this summary that I have that won't take as much time, but it'll also go into details on some of the things that she talks about, plus a little extra that I'm going to add in regards to some new things that are coming to town. So this is going to be all about Idaho Falls and its growth. She focused on 5 key things that I took away from her State of the City. And that one, she just kind of introduced herself so that people who were not familiar with her being a new mayor, she talked about herself, where she came from, what she's passionate about, why she loves the city. Second, she talked about transparency and what she would like to do in regards to communication to the residents. Third, she talked about crime, so we'll talk about that. Fourth, she talks about power and how Idaho Falls has some amazing things in regards to keeping city power lower for residents. 5, she talks about the growth of the city, traffic, and how we're going to handle all of that. So I'll talk about that. That's a big one. And then lastly, she just talked about the promises that she had, what her priorities are, what is important to her, and what she plans to do as a mayor going forward. So, you ready? Let's get started. What's up, guys? My name is Anike Wilder. I'm a local realtor here in East Idaho. If you want to know all there is to know about life in Idaho Falls and the surrounding areas, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you'll be the first to know when I put out a new video like this every single week. And if you're thinking about moving to our beautiful city of Idaho Falls or somewhere in East Idaho, and you would like to ask me some questions about what it's like, or if you need help finding you a home, I'd be happy to help. Just give me a call, shoot me a text, send me email, or schedule a Zoom call, and I'll answer all your questions and help you come up with a plan to make your next move smooth. All right, let's get to the state of the city. Number one, this was Lisa's intro. She talked about how she grew up in Idaho Falls, how she grew up and loved all of East Idaho. She's really into recreation and being outdoorsy, and she loves the state. She moved away for a short time while her husband was becoming a dentist, and then she moved back. She soon got involved in her schools for her kids. I'm talking about like the PTA and the school boards, where she found that getting involved in your local groups and boards was super important. She felt like your voice is important as a resident, and so she got involved, and she's been involved in the city for decades. She expressed a lot of her love of the city and what she hopes to do for the city. And the biggest takeaway for me was that she really wanted to create a safe environment that caters to all types of different people, not just one kind of people, not just one kind of way of thinking. She wants to continue to make Idaho Falls amazing like it's been, and continue to cater to the masses, to the new people, and the residents that have been here for a very long time. So that was it for the intro, is really just getting to know her, where she come from, and her love and passion for the city. Number 2, she talked about transparency. She wants to improve the communication that Idaho Falls has with residents. She doesn't want residents to feel blindsided or surprised by new construction, road expansions, road closures, new apartments going up. She wants to increase and simplify communication to the residents so that everyone is aware of projects that are going on right here in Idaho Falls. She also talked about improving and simplifying her processes so it's easier to get building permits and other collaborations with the city. Lastly, in regards to transparency, she wants to showcase what it takes to actually run a city. She was emphasizing that when you are getting involved and you're voting for your city council and your city members, and you're voting on bonds and things like that, it's important for residents to know what it actually takes to run a city. She wants to showcase some of her examples were showcasing what it takes to fill a pothole. She wants to show what the city workers, what they're doing, what it takes to have clean water. There were many other examples that she had, but it was just this idea that she wants to show the residents, get them more involved, have more transparency of what we're working on, what we are doing, and what it takes to keep this city going. Number 3, she talked about crime. Now, crime has increased across the nation by double numbers, she had mentioned, but in Idaho Falls, it has decreased by 1%, which is not a lot, but she has mentioned that 1% decrease can feel significant when the rest of the world is increasing. So when everybody else is increasing in crime, ours is decreasing, and she thought that that was a big deal. And part of that was funding the police department. We have a brand new police station where people can go in and the residents can be involved. She also mentioned some community projects that the police department put on, and the police community projects include homeless cleanup, graffiti cleanup, alcohol compliance with restaurants, and so forth. I mean, there was a lot that's going on, and we don't have a lot of graffiti and we don't have a lot of homelessness, but the city is making that a priority, partnering with the police station, with the local police forces to make sure we remain safe and remain a clean environment, which is very different than what's going on in the world, where there's a lot of homelessness, there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of crime just on the city streets. And Idaho Falls is different. And we're trying to maintain that look, that class, that cleanliness, and provide resources for those that need it. And so the police department is heavily involved in that. She talked about how property crime is down and violent crime is down. So overall, she wants to maintain this trajectory for decreasing crime more and more. Number 4, power. Idaho Falls is such an amazing place when it comes to power. I mean, over the last 125 years, the city has invested in future-proofing the city's need for an increased power supply. And so we have multiple sources of power coming to Idaho Falls: hydropower, nuclear power, wind power. And in the first time in, I think, 40 years, she says, we have a brand new peaking power plant. This is another source of energy to help supplement the power supply, making it even more affordable for residents, keeping costs low, and making it more readily available for all of us that are living in the Idaho Falls area. She also talked about Idaho Falls fiber, which is really cool. Idaho Falls actually has the largest open access fiber optic network in all of the state of Idaho. This was a huge thing that she's super proud of. Obviously, this has happened before she's come on as mayor, but this is something that she wanted to highlight as something that we are going to continue down this path with, creating better networking, better connection through technology for the citizens of Idaho Falls. Number 5, this is a big one: growth. She emphasized that the cat's out of the bag. People are aware of Idaho Falls, and more people are coming here, and more people will continue to come here. It is a great place to live. But how will we maintain the infrastructure? How will we handle traffic? This is on the forefront of her mind. She knows this is super important to residents, and this is important to the overall health of Idaho Falls. So in order to address the growth, she's talking about different interchanges, widening roads, adding traffic lights where needed, so the overall traffic flow is a lot better within the city, and those that are passing through the city don't have to actually drive through the city. She's hoping that the new interchanges will help prevent people to travel through the city and instead will go around the city, so that the people traveling within the city are for our residents living here. And let me show you what that looks like. So here is Idaho Falls, and one of the biggest changes that we are implementing over the next several years is the I-15 and Highway 20 interchange. This is what it looks like now, and it creates a lot of traffic. You kind of just turn into, you're going on a freeway into just basically a regular road, which isn't very conducive to creating good traffic flow. So this is kind of what it looks like. Pay attention to this I-15 line here and this Highway 20. We've got a couple in and outs here, the interchanges here, and then and so forth, it goes up. And this is the proposed plan, which I'll show you here. Now, this is the proposed plan. If you compare it side by side, which I can't really do here, but they are widening this area, this extension. They're making it much bigger, widening to 3 lanes in this area. They're changing where the interchange is on Highway 20, making it lower, and then deleting an interchange there, and then adding one up here, and then widening to 3 lanes. Now, this is a big project, and if you're not familiar with looking at these types of graphs, it's kind of a lot to take in. I would recommend pausing this video and studying it out to really understand what's going on if that interests you. But this is something that we are working on, that we are prioritizing to help keep traffic low and better, more efficient in our area. Okay, now let's talk about the airport. The director of the Idaho Falls Regional Airport is Ian Turner, and he most recently put out a video with updates on the construction going on the expansion project of the airport. You can find that on the Idaho Falls Regional Airport Facebook group. Looks like this. I don't know if it'll show very well, But it talks a lot about installing a new powerhouse, putting conduit, creating more space in the building for utilities, support the increase. It's basically just supporting the increase of power and the expansion to allow more airlines to come, more people to come through. So it's just part of the growth of Idaho Falls. And let me show you on the map what that looks like as well. Okay, here is the airport. This is the building here. And the airport does service 5 different airlines and goes to 10 different locations. So you can have direct flights to places like Seattle, Phoenix, Dallas, Orange County, Portland, Denver, and now Chicago. There might be a couple other ones on there, Salt Lake City, of course. And this little airport here is expanding on this area where they're going to build a little bit more space for just like a utility room. And they will expand some of the parking lots. And eventually they might expand to even more airlines. So that's the airport right there. Now let's talk about the roads that Lisa Burtenshaw, the mayor of Idaho Falls, talked about and the construction going on there. The roads that Lisa talked about that she will be working on, she only listed 5 or a handful of them, but that doesn't mean there won't be more being worked on. This is an important thing. I already mentioned that before. This is important for her to address for the city to make traffic flow more easily so that we're not backed up in lines of traffic. We don't want that to happen. We want this to remain that awesome small town Idaho Falls, but with that inevitable growth, we need to make some changes to our roads. So she mentioned East River Road, St. Leon Road, which is also considered Woodruff Road, depending on how far south or north that you're traveling on Woodruff Road. I'll show you that here in a minute. She mentioned Iona Road. She also mentioned putting traffic lights in on certain areas. And then, of course, that interchange that I already talked about. So let me show you some of these other roads. Here is Woodruff Road. And as you go north on a Woodruff Road, it turns into St. Leon Road up here. And I believe when she said she's talking about working on this area, I believe it's from Lincoln to Yellowstone or possibly Yellowstone all the way up to the 20 interchange right here. So this whole area from the 20 all the way down to Yellowstone Highway, this is St. Leon Road, and it's not a very wide road. It's a 2-lane road, if I remember correctly, and it's coming off of the freeway, going to and from the freeway. Not only is it very long and it's taking a long time to get there, but there can be a lot of traffic going to and from this interchange. So I believe when she mentioned that in her state of the state of the city address that they're going to expand that road. Another one I thought worth mentioning is if we go south to their 65th to 49th. So this intersection right here, 49th and Woodruff, also known as 15th when you're down south, and or I'm not sure which one she was talking about. It might be Holmes and 49th, which is right here on this intersection. She was talking about putting in a traffic light. So there are 2 stops here, and this will help cater so that we don't have, right now that's a 4-way stop sign. And this will help so that you're not backing up on traffic coming from the south where there's more houses being built around the southern part of town and the eastern part of town. And so anyone traveling to Woodruff or to Holmes to head up north to work where all the commercial is, if we put a traffic light here, that might ease some of that congestion. The last part of the growth segment of the state of the city was she talked a little bit about CEI, which is our community college here. It is growing in its size, its campus, the buildings that are being built right now, which is super exciting. This is providing more education opportunities for people here locally so they can stay in their hometown, stay home if they want, and get an education right in the middle of Idaho Falls. So that expansion is super exciting to provide more educational resources for the residents of East Idaho. At the end of her State of the City address, Lisa talked about her promises and her commitment to the city. She really loves the city. She believes it is her city and her responsibility to help out, to help the growth, to be more responsible in regards to the communication, in regards to all the things that I had talked about. And then she talked about the things that excite her even more and that is important to her and that are priorities. And that's the green spaces, the parks, and a rec center. She mentioned at the beginning and the end that she would love to have a rec center. And this is a multi-generational wellness center that will help all types of people, all types of residences on all different ages. We have a couple other older rec centers in town that are just really run down, don't offer a lot of resources. So she wants a new facility with bigger opportunity, bigger rooms, more workout opportunities, and places for kids to do sports. I mean, the list goes on. So rec center super important to her, the green spaces, the parks, you know, decades ago, we had the people in charge of Idaho Falls, the mayors, the leadership, they made parks a priority, and she wants to bring that back because she's very outdoorsy. It's passionate. It's a passion of hers to be outside. Recreation is important, and she wants to make that a priority for the city. So implementing future parks, implementing and expanding walking paths, and of course, a bright, beautiful new rec center is all something in the plans for the future. That's it for her address. Lisa looks like she's excited. She's got, fresh ideas to bring to the city. I'm excited to see what she's going to do and how she will handle our continued growth. Just as a little bonus, there's some things that have been coming to town that have been very exciting. There's a Zupas, if you're familiar with that franchise, great soups and sandwiches, little chocolate covered strawberries. That just opened in town and it's doing really well, very popular. A new Les Schwab on this side, the south side of town. We also have a Raising Cane's coming, a Chipotle coming, and there's more coming. This is the exciting part about the growth of Idaho Falls is yes, we might have a little bit more traffic, but then we have some of these restaurants and grocery and stores that are coming to town that a lot of the residents want. One that I'm voting for and hopeful that will come here is Trader Joe's and Nordstrom Rack. As soon as it happens, I will let you know. But as of right now, these new ones are, like I said, Chipotle, Raising Cane's, Zupas, and we also have a new kid zone coming to town. So because we have harsh winters, they can be long, they can be cold. People are looking for more opportunities to play with their kids indoors. And we have a brand new facility coming in February 2026 that will open up, and it's got slides and jungle gyms and bouncy houses. So this is something that's new that's coming to town. And we have a new little go-kart. Though these are little tiny electric go-karts. It's called, I believe, Rad Racing. That also opened recently. So there are more things coming to help kids, to help families in regards to recreation, play, and eating and shopping. So that's it for this video. That is your summary of the state of this city. That is Lisa Burtenshaw, the new mayor of Idaho Falls. If you have any questions about the things that were mentioned here, you can watch her whole state of the city on YouTube. You can also check out the rest of my channel. I've got a lot of different videos about Idaho Falls and the surrounding areas. And I wanted to leave you with this video. It just showcases Idaho Falls so perfectly. This was shown at the beginning of the state of the city. Really great footage and really encompasses what Idaho Falls is all about. So I'm going to leave that video here too. Again, my name is Anike Wilder, and I'm a local realtor here. So if you're thinking about moving here, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me a message, and I'll be happy to help. We'll see you next time. Bye.